Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Ahmed and we are continuing to explore this book by Al-Ghazali on condemnation and of pride and self-admiration. And in the previous videos we explored how Islam condemns pride and then how Islam condemns traces of pride in one's behavior and one's clothing and things like that. So in today's video we will be exploring the virtue of humility. So let's get started with it. He said, the messenger of God said, "There is not a single person, but that there are two angels with him, grasping him by his reins. If he elevates himself, they pull them back and say, 'O God, humiliate him.' And if he humbles himself, they say, 'O God, elevate him.'" He said, "Blessed be the one who is humble without self abasement, who spends the wealth that he has earned without disobedience, is merciful towards the lowly and the needy, and associates with the people of understanding and wisdom." The Prophet said, "My Lord gave me to choose between two things, that I either be a servant and a messenger, or a king and a prophet. I did not know which one to choose. My dear friend from among the angels was Gabriel. I raised my head to him, and he said, 'Be humble before your Lord.' Thus I said, 'A servant and a messenger.' And God revealed to Moses, 'I only accept the prayer of the one who is humble before my magnificence, who does not magnify himself in front of my creatures, and whose heart is attached to the fear of me, who spends his days in the remembrance of me, and who restrains himself from his passions for my sake.'" The Prophet said, "Generosity is reverence, nobility is humility, and certainty is self-sufficiency." Jesus said, "Blessed are the humble in this world, for they shall be the people of elevated rank on the day of resurrection. Blessed are those who bring reconciliation among people in this world, for they are the ones who shall inherit paradise on the day of resurrection. Blessed are those whose hearts are purified in this world, for they are the ones who shall gaze upon God on the day of resurrection." Someone said, "It has reached to me that the Prophet of God said, 'When God guides a servant to Islam, beautifies his form, places him in a position which is not dishonorable for him, and alongside this provides him with humility, that is the choicest of God's gifts.'" The Prophet said, "There are four things that God gives only to those whom He loves: silence, which is the beginning of worship; trust in God; humility; renunciation of the world." Having been asked about what humility is, Fudayl ibn Iyad said, "It is that you submit to the truth and follow it. Even if you hear it from a little boy, you accept it. Even if you hear it from the most ignorant of men, you accept it." Abdullah ibn al-Mubarak said, the summit of humility is that you humble yourself before the one who is below you in worldly blessings, until you know that you are not superior to him in the worldly status, and that you elevate yourself over the one who is above you in worldly status, until you know that he is not superior to you in this worldly status. Qatada said, "Whoever is given wealth or beauty or clothing or knowledge and is not humble about it shall have an evil outcome on the day of resurrection." Urwa ibn al-Zubair said, "Humility is one of the snares of nobility, except for the blessing of humility. The possessor of every blessing is envied for that blessing." Abu Ali said, "The soul is soaked with pride, avid desire, and envy. For whomsoever God wants destruction, He bars him from humility, sincere counsel, and contentment. And when God wants good for him, he kindly bestows this quality upon him. Thus, when the fire of pride rises within him, humility overtakes it. With God's help, when the fire of envy rises within him, sincere counsel overtakes it with God's success giving. And when the fire of desire rises within him, contentment overtakes it with God's aid. So I think I'll just leave it here. So I think this gives you some of the benefits and some of the virtues of humility, and we can understand from it that how God sees humility, and basically it's like an inverse proportional relationship. The more you think you are elevated, the lesser you are dropped in the lower you are dropped in the eyes of the God. And the more you think that you are lowly, the more you are elevated in the eyes of God. And whatever God thinks about you is what happens in the world. If God thinks you are a highly person, people will think of you as a highly person. And if God thinks that you are lowly person, full of pride and etc., so then the people will dishonor you in this world. So I'll just leave it here until next time. Next time we'll be going through the chapter, the reality of pride and its defects, and it's going to be an interesting chapter, and I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are enjoying this series as well. So till next time, this is Ahmed Bilal signing off. Have a good day.